It's the late Luther Vandross, and that one is Secret Love. It is a song about infidelity, but it's a beautiful song, isn't it? It really is. You're still on the talk shop here on SAFM. I'm in studio with Thabang, Tlaka, psychologist and author, and he's talking to us about emotional infidelity. Is it really cheating? Thabang, welcome to the talk shop.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for joining us. I think that when we talk about emotional infidelity, we first need to understand what it is, right?
Yes.
What is emotional infidelity?
Okay, so emotional infidelity is having a relationship with somebody who's not your spouse or lover. And in that relationship causes you to have a gap with your primary relationship. It causes an emotional distance. And it's very often characterized by a secret life. It could be that you are very you share secrets with someone else, you enjoy a relationship with someone else other than the person you vowed or you promised to protect your relationship with.
You see, this is why it's blurry, right? Because you may be in a relationship, even married, and have a friend that you're very close to, that you speak to about things that you'd never be able to share with your husband. And I mean, that's what a lot of people will say, that no, he's just my sounding board. And we say that because we assume that we don't have to keep those, private parts of ourselves only within our relationship. And I think maybe that's what we need to do, is understand the limitations of marriage and relationships. Does that mean that I share myself only with the person I'm with? And I'm talking emotionally now.
Yes, I think that's a beautiful point that you're making, because there are very important things in a relationship. There are certain things that are unsaid. When you get in a relationship with somebody, we expect that you're going to protect me, you're going to cherish me, you're going to not talk about me behind my back, you're not going to share the intimate details of our relationship with someone else, because if I find out that you're doing that, it's a kind of a betrayal. And so when we do such things, when we have a friend, it causes a distance between us. So when we have a relationship and there's this third party, this friend that I get to share things with, but I don't share with you, then there's a problem. And it's just a recipe for disaster, something that can happen later. Because everything starts small and it can blossom into something else. The other thing that we need to be mindful of is, what does it mean? Why is it that you can be with this other person and share these important things that you can't share with me? Then what's missing in our relationship? And that's what we need to address then. That there's something, I have a need. I have a need in my relationship with you, but I'm finding that I can't meet, this relationship doesn't facilitate that need, and I have to go outside.
Right.
So that's where the problem becomes.
Okay, now that I understand. But I think that when we have this conversation, and there's an SMS that's already come in that says, yes, Naledi, it's cheating big time. It may lead to physical cheating, as it normally does. At the end of that SMS, it says, as it normally does. And we assume that emotional infidelity almost always leads to the physical act.
Yes. I think about it when we think of, for example, if I use trauma as an example. Somebody could hurt you physically, but sometimes the emotional scars might be even deeper. So the fact that you enjoy this other relationship with someone else, perhaps you're a bit more excited when you talk to this other person. You share things that you wouldn't share with me. Sometimes it could be problematic in that then it robs our relationship, what could become of us. So then the becoming of us doesn't exist because you get to share it somewhere else. And with human beings, we always have problems with choices. When we have a lot of choices, then where we apply ourselves, and so when we have a lot of choices, we don't really apply ourselves effectively. But what if we went into the primary relationship with the same energy, with the same vigor, with the same intensity that we have with someone else? What could become of our relationship?
Because you have the option to.
Yes, now you have the option to. So now you could, it's kind of like how we spend our days working somewhere else, then we go home, we kind of give the people we love leftovers. We give our best to someone else, and the ones that we cling to, care about, we give the seconds, the tired us, the subdued versions of us. So that's where sometimes it becomes tricky, because it can rob from what could become of us.
You see, this is what I struggle with, is how do you know that your husband is just platonic friends with another female? Because that's where a lot of people believe the lines get crossed. That Thabang has this friend. They've been friends since they were children, and perhaps Thabang and I are married. But this friend of his, they're very, very close, and I have a problem with it, because I cannot for one moment believe that this is purely platonic. And that's the question that says, can women and men really be friends, especially if they're in relationships?
Perhaps we should have a discussion on another day about, can men and women be friends? I would like to believe that. I'd really like to believe that, but I haven't found it. So
You haven't found it?
I haven't found it, because yes, one of you can be friends, but the other party might not be a friend, or it might develop into something else. So if your husband or your wife then has this friend, this platonic relationship, even if nothing sinister is happening, but it can take away from what could become. Because now you've had a bad day, you have something very important to share. Who do you pick? Do you pick your primary partner, or do you pick this person that you share a life with? And nothing big starts big. Everything big starts small. Yeah.
I still say WhatsApp is one of the most dangerous innovations that have come of this generation. Because in the olden days, to access that emotional infidelity would have been so much more difficult. Right now, I can sit right next to my husband and have a full-on conversation with someone else, and he'd never know.
True. When you say that, a song came into my head. There's a song, I think, by Janet Jackson. It says something like, when I was with him, my body was with him, but my mind was with you.
Hey.
I was with someone else. And we do that with technology. But I think social media, WhatsApp, just amplifies what we have. So we look at our screens more than we look at people we care about.
Yeah.
And so you find two people are together, but they are somewhere else. They're not engaged. They are with other people, yet they are in the same room. And if you think about how people even separate, it has to happen psychologically first. Before somebody leaves you physically, they have to leave you psychologically, emotionally. They have to detach from you. Then the physical act could come from there.